Hello and welcome to this hangout. I am Stacey Harmon, principal of Harmon Enterprises, and I am here to have a discussion with Dave Crumby, the CEO of Revolve. Hi, Dave.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
I'm happy to. So thank you for being here. For the audience, what I just wanted to do was have a discussion with Dave, who I've stumbled across his CRM software, Revolve, which I've been highly impressed with. And Dave and I have such a high affinity of mutual contacts in the real estate industry that I reached out to him to see if I could get some more information about his perspective on this ongoing conversation I'm having with multiple people about kind of the workflow, the digital workflow for a real estate agent today, and the choices that they have, and what's the best answer, right? And I think there's lots of options, and so I'm endeavoring to kind of educate or at least have a discussion with the key players and agents who have a really digital workflow and the tools and their perspective on what tools should work best and what to consider when you're trying to be efficient and productive in building an actual real estate business. So Dave's clearly got a great perspective on that, and I wanted to bring that to you, and I really thank you for taking the time to kind of be here with me today, Dave.
Happy to. Thank you.
Okay, so let's just get started and get a little background information. Could you tell me a little bit about your personal background, where you're located, and how you kind of came to where you are today with this?
Absolutely. I live in Denver, Colorado. I was a real estate agent and broker since 1996. So I have lived and breathed the real estate and the technology side of it for almost 20 years. And about 6 months ago, I wrote a book called Real, and it has the CEOs of Zillow, Trulia, Better Homes and Gardens, Christina Weiss of Good Life, a lot of big key industry players, and we've been one of the best-selling books in real estate for the past few months. Behind the scenes, for the past 2 years, we have been building a CRM for the real estate. We feel it is the most important core software that every real estate agent needs to build a business. So that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. So that actually leads into my next question. Can you define what your definition of a CRM is and what role it plays in a real estate transaction? I know from your realtor's workflow. I know from even the homepage of your website. You say not every agent has to have a CRM or has a CRM. So what's the definition first of it? Where does it play?
Sure. What I learned, over the past almost 2 decades in the business is there's 2 types of real estate agents. Those with the habits and infrastructure to build an actual business, which is really all of our goals, and those with the habits and infrastructure where even after a decade or 2 in real estate, they really only own a job. And the big difference between the 2 is having a good CRM.
Oops. Dave froze on me. I don't know if I'm frozen on him too, but let's see.
Was I frozen?
You were frozen. We lost you. I lost you for a second. So last I heard was, and I think you're back now, is the difference is having a good CRM.
Correct.
So if you pick it from there, that would be great. I'll just edit out the little chunk there.
Right. And the purpose of that is to hold the information on your contacts so you can foster relationships with them. That is the key component and the difference between actually building a business. And it doesn't matter if you are selling real estate, you're doing nails, or you're an accountant. You have to have your customer base. That is the key difference between hopping from deal to deal, month after month, year after year, or actually building a business.
Having repeat customers and focusing on the people.
Exactly, right.
Great. Okay, so the CRM then is designed to help foster and facilitate that relationship building and that communication. Is that correct? Okay.
Right.
And so tell me about Realvolve and how you are solving the problem of maintaining contact with your customer and facilitating relationships with your customer base.
Really is just having one place where all of your contacts are and being able to add information that evolves as your relationship with them does. We talk to agents every day that have their contacts scattered between Excel spreadsheets and Gmail or Yahoo. They're all over the place. So having a place where all of your contacts are stored and organized that you can access from anywhere is crucial. And it has to be a platform that allows you to take notes on people. As you get hundreds of contacts, you need to be able to remember the key things about their lives. It's not just a place for you to store their addresses and emails. You need to store the good stuff, the things that allow you to have an authentic relationship with a person.
Right. And one of the things I assume you clearly recognize is that data, especially in a modern digital age, is really scattered amongst social channels, email platforms, contact databases, and I assume you work to centralize that for an agent.
Right. We help you import that data from everywhere, but you don't necessarily need to bring everyone over. And as much work as we put into Revolve and really changing how CRMs in our space should be, it still requires work. It's not magic software. You still have to put in the time to really get all the critical people in that you want to go through life with.
You have to work the system.
Right. So it's not about importing everybody that you are friends with on Facebook or every email that you've ever collected, through your lead generation. It's really the people that want to have a relationship with you.
Okay, great. So a filtered, kind of focused platform that allows you to focus on those things that are going to build your business over time through relationships with people.
Exactly.
Okay.
And another important distinction to make is a lot of people think that agents think they have a CRM when they have a lead manager. So if they're generating leads online and you're housing that data, they're using that as a CRM, which really is a mistake. I know online lead generation quite well, and at best you're going to convert between 1% and 4% of those online leads that you generate. And over the course of a few months or a year, 95 to 98% of those people that you've collected, they have no interest in having a relationship with you. So you have a collection of data that is really useless for the purposes of building an actual business.
So the difference is when you start to build information around the relevant customers and building a story, so to speak, around those people that are most important to you.
Precisely, yes.
Okay, so that's what your that's what CRMs in your definition do, and that's kind of the philosophy.
That's what they should do. I would recommend keeping your lead generation tools to foster those leads separate from the CRM you're building a business with.
So the CRM is going to have context for the most important contacts for you.
Exactly. Right.
So I get great definition and description. So having this system is important. So then the next step is, though, the processes and the workflow, and this is an area that I'm very interested in, is like, I think it's about having a system and about having a defined workflow. And I talk to agents all the time that have different choices for those things, and often agents that are in flux don't have clarity about what their workflows and their choices are. Which software in particular, this is a challenge I hear a lot, which software do I use to store my digital transaction file? What software do I use to keep track of the contacts? What software should I use to take notes about the contact? So can you tell me a little bit about your personal philosophy on workflow and how that plays a part in the CRM you've built?
Well, with Revolve, you really have all of that in one place. And from every CRM that I've seen out there, Revolve has the most powerful workflow platform in existence. Everything else out there really just provides a linear series, one-dimensional series of tasks that need to get done. And that's good. That is helpful. We just took it a step farther to where not only can you provide those simple lists of chores that need to get done, but we built in some infrastructure that actually helps you get that work done. The ability to set trigger dates on when certain emails and communications go out, a way to manage a checklist of forms and activities that need to get done. So we just took it to a different level.
Now, are those templated solutions, or is it something that's custom?
Those are custom by the user. They can create them as simple or as deep and robust as they want to.
Okay, so I think I actually love that philosophy, because one of the things I've found in real estate is no two people are doing things exactly the same way, even within the same.
They vary state by state, and you know, a question we get asked a lot about is, do you have drip campaigns? And you know, of course, we provide the architecture for you to send out communication that needs to go out often and frequently, as they do with listings and transactions. But we really feel agents need to be careful with sending drips. We're not a fan of them. We don't think that people like to be dripped on. So oftentimes we think that we want that automation, but it can help more than it hurts.
Yeah, well, what people like, this goes back to the social media side of my interest, but I think they really want quality content, and drip campaigns don't often provide quality content. They can meet the need of a touch point, but you have to be careful if that's annoying or informative.
Exactly. You know, our philosophy is if you have a strategy to have a relationship, you're already on your way to losing it. You know, it doesn't take that much to foster a relationship with a human being. We just overcomplicate it. We think that we need too much technology when really we just need to be real and be ourselves.
That's right. What was that commercial? I'm not a lead, right?
Exactly. Right.
Right. Okay. Great point. So then, let me know what do you view as the essential tools? What's the full set of an agent's modern workflow?
I think just the customization aspects of it. You be able to think through how you really want to work and be able to customize from there, and that's what sets us apart. You know, and being able to actually have that workflow get work done for you, and that's really the purpose of technology. It's not just to say we have powerful technology. It's to get work done for you so you can go live life. And I think that's what everybody's goal is.
Okay, and so in terms of thinking more like globally about an agent's setup in their workflows, obviously CRM is going to be a big part of that, with defined workflows inside of that.
Correct.
That in your system can be customized and defined for that particular customer.
Right.
User, subscriber.
Right.
What other tools? I assume they need to have an email system. Do you advocate any one in particular, or?
It depends. You know, we allow the ability to send out email within Revolve, and you can even send to tag groups, so you can have relevant content. But if you are a user that is sending out thousands of emails at one time and needs sophisticated tracking, you know, there are other services that do that really well. But for small batch communication to your contacts, we handle that within the system.
Okay. And then tell me a little bit about your integration with Evernote, which is near and dear to my heart. And one of the reasons that I found you, to my knowledge, you're the only CRM that currently integrates with Evernote.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that decision and how that feature works in Revolve.
Well, just the Evernote has some really powerful features, and we're just in our beginning phases of what we're exploring doing with that. We want our users to guide what they'd really like to see. You know, but for now, any contact, listing, or transaction that you take notes on, you can create new notebooks or sync them with existing notebooks within Evernote. So there's a two-way sync between the notes that you're taking between Revolve and Evernote.
Okay, so we're kind of mirroring the data that we have, so that whatever you favor as your platform to do data entry, for example, will be in sync, so to speak, between the two.
Yes.
Okay, great. And what led you to do that?
A lot of people are using it. Evernote is such a great tool to stay organized and take notes and share communications with your contacts. It was just a natural fit for us.
Okay, and then what about, so I'm very interested in the discussion of, you know, where's the line between what I should do in my CRM or a CRM maybe it's Realvolve, maybe it's another CRM, and what should I do in Evernote? And there's actually a third part to that too. So I'd like you to answer that question, but then the next question I get is, where should I store large files? Should it be in Drive or Evernote or my CRM or Dropbox? You know, I mean, what's your take on what the right answer for that is?
You know, what our focus is on is keeping agents organized with their contacts, helping them get the work done. But there are other tools that are really good platforms for sharing important information. Google Drive is one of those. Evernote is one of those, and they should continue to use those tools. So while if you're organizing a contact or a listing or transaction, you want those appropriate contracts, disclosures, forms associated and organized, it's often easier to have them elsewhere, to have sharing involved and annotation involved.
Okay. So I tend to agree that that's the feature. I mean, these tools like Drive and Evernote are built for those specific purposes, right?
Exactly.
And the CRMs tend to be more focused on the, you know, the almost, I'm not sure project management of a client is the right term. How would you describe it? But
You know, it's a little bit of both. It's the organization of that data and the tools to get the work done with that data. But you know, when it comes to the files and sharing, those other platforms are better suited for that. So the key is go ahead.
I was going to say, so your take is there's really a role for both.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So, all right. Now, I have this theory, and I'm pretty sure that you will agree with it, but I see agents who have really sophisticated solutions, and agents that don't have sophisticated solutions tend to get kind of glossy-eyed about new technologies and online technologies. And when I try to comfort them and say, look, if we're going to move forward, you have to keep in mind that you have to unbundle sophistication from effectiveness. Okay, they're not synonymous. You can have a low sophistication strategy that's highly effective and gets results for you. You can also have a highly sophisticated strategy that gets results for you, but you can have a sophisticated strategy that does nothing for you as well. So when you're getting started, I like to recommend, or I often coach, that people begin with simple set of tools that's going to work for them and show results and prove that they should continue to invest in developing workflows or developing features or paying for different tiers with particular pieces of software. Let me know, number one, do you agree with that? And if you do or if you don't, what would you suggest is the entry point for an agent who's looking at CRMs or trying to automate and digitize their workflow?
Well, I absolutely agree with it. And we tend to overcomplicate everything in life. And especially when it comes to building our businesses and thinking we need more technology than we really do. And the step one, organize your contacts. Get them in one spot. That is crucial to actually building a business.
And actually, I know we're probably assuming this, but I find agents actually need to capture the email address of their contacts. They don't necessarily always automatically think to do that these days.
Right, and that takes work. It takes time for you to organize several hundred people and make sure you have data on them. So don't get overwhelmed. Take it in baby steps, but in one place, get all of your contacts. Those people are going through life with you, and they're no matter how good of a marketer you are, how good you are at lead generation, the only way that you're going to actually build a business is with them. So get them organized in one spot. The area that we break down and we overcomplicate things, and I tell this story over and over again, is we think that we need some sophisticated infrastructure to foster a relationship. But it is simple. Pick up the phone. You really only have to call people 4 or 5 times a year and just have an authentic communication. Just talk about life. You don't need sophisticated drip campaigns or mailing systems. You just need to call them and for them to know that you care. And we have the numbers on this. We've spoken with hundreds of agents across the country. If an agent has 1,000 contacts that they have a reasonably good rapport with, they will do between 6 and 12% penetration into that list year after year after year. So 1,000 people, that's a minimum of 60 transactions. 500 people, that's 30 transactions, which that is a business that you can depend on, and it's there in good markets and bad markets.
Absolutely. Back to that basic principle, and then we can use technology to kind of support, organize, which I think is a key word,
Right.
and move that process along for you and make
Exactly. You know, and take notes on people. When you're calling people, you need to have a spot to remember those key things. If you are calling 10 people a day because you have 1,000 people in your database, and over the year you're reaching out to them 4 times, that sizable amount of people, you're not going to remember all the fine points of their lives. You know, you need to know what their kids are up to, what's important for them, are they changing jobs? So you have to take notes on everyone that you talk to, and make sure that you have a platform that allows for that.
Yeah, that's excellent advice, and it's those details that really do matter. So,
Yes.
and it translates. Those details can be repurposed in many modern channels too, which is a great point. Okay, well, this has been very helpful. I have a couple other quick questions for you. One of the things I'm so impressed about your platform is there's clearly an emphasis on quality design, and there's been a lot of thought around design, color, user interface. Could you talk about kind of what the role does design, and you use the term beauty on your homepage. What does that play in your perspective of how this all works?
Well, the tools that we use every day have an effect on our well-being. You know, whether it is a phone, a watch, a car, the clothes we wear, the things that we surround ourselves. If you have poor tools, it can set a tone for the rest of your day. So we know that we wanted to provide an environment that was aesthetically pleasing, you know, easy to find stuff. You know, we always want to get better. I'm not suggesting that there will never be issues or things we can improve within Revolve, but we wanted to start with a baseline of someplace that's enjoyable to go and spend time with. I've been involved with real estate so long, and there's been so much legacy software out there that is just poorly designed, and you get a headache just logging in, and it pops up all these windows, and it looks like it was, you know, it's remnants from the Microsoft DOS days. But we wanted to provide a place that was pleasing.
Yeah, well, you know, mission accomplished. It's
Thank you.
beautiful. It's very pretty, and I find that it's actually interesting. It's one of the things that attracts me to many of the software solutions that I have chosen. So I'm not on a day-to-day basis. I'm no longer doing real estate transactions per se, so I don't have a need for a CRM in that case. But in the business that I've built as you know, an independent entrepreneur, is very reliant on design-driven technology. It's one of the things I love about Evernote. You know, it's clearly a design-driven technology, and tools like MailChimp and Apple, you know, these kinds of things have a common theme, and it tends to be the design, and you fit so nicely right in that.
It's our team. We have a combination of scientists and artists, and you know, it was important from day one that we provide something that is intuitive and just pleasing to log into.
Would you mind showing a little bit of the interface?
I'd be happy to. Let me share my screen here.
Design feature here.
All right, here you go. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Very simple, very easy to get around. We have a global search here. You list all your contacts, listings, transactions, files, tags, etc. Really easy to add stuff to get done, see what you got to do. Navigation is a breeze. We integrate with the social media. You can email from here, text, message from here. Let's pull up a contact. A contact record is very simple. We save all the communication you send with Revolve through here, save all the contact information, properties. It's really simple, really easy.
And then the Evernote integration, could you just demo that a little bit or show what happens?
All the notes that you take on within Revolve and within Evernote, you just click this little Evernote icon. It'll load up your notebooks, and you can sync with an existing notebook, or you can create a new one, and it will it will create a new contact within Evernote, and then from then on out, it'll sync back and forth.
That's great. Really great. Well, it's no doubt about it, it's a pleasing visual environment, especially for something that can be perceived as so complex. So, you know, kudos to you and the team there, and it's really impressive. So, where can agents learn more kind of about what you guys have got going on there?
You know, just go to revolve.com. That's a good spot to start to get the basics answered. But reach out to us. We're here. We get back with you quickly, and we're here to serve.
Excellent. Well, I'll be sure to add that URL to the information that you see below the broadcast. And any additional thoughts or anything we need to know?
You know, our philosophy is we're all going through life together. So we're never going to stop getting better. We're always going to be improving and finally calibrating what we offer. We want to help agents build an actual business so they can go live life. So we're going to listen to our users and pursue everything that we can to do that.
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure. I hope people found some value in hopefully understanding a little bit about the philosophy behind what you guys have built and seeing the outcome of that. I really wish you the best of luck. It looks fabulous, and I know you guys are young in your deployment here, but clearly really poised for success. So
thank you. We're just getting started. We're excited. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing it with us, and I appreciate your time. And for all you out there, if you have any questions, please just add them down below, and myself or Dave will be happy to get back with you. And for this edition, I'm going to call that a wrap. And Dave, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.